Welcome to Small Steps. My name is Seth Potts, and I want to show you how to add pivot charts to go with your slicers. On our last video, we discussed how to connect multiple pivot tables to the same source. Moving on from that point, we're going to start off here with multiple pivot tables that are connected to the same source. I've kind of changed up the source data here, and I have some arrest data for this video. So the tables I've made up, just days a week and a count of arrest, and then I have just another one here for NIBRS codes and the quantity of arrest on that as well. So these are both connected to the same source table. A lot of times you're not going to want to present just charts with just numbers and numbers. Something like this can be kind of convoluted to look at. So what we're going to do is connect some charts, pivot charts to these, and that will kind of show a better representation that you could pass off on a dashboard, or just to make it look a little flashier for whoever your end audience is here. So with these being made, we're going to go ahead and start making some charts. So if you click anywhere in the pivot table, we'll just start with one. So for the days a week, we'll go up, go to insert, and then over on the chart section, you can click on pivot chart. And these are just the regular charts you normally see. They'll be connected in through that data on the pivot table. So for the day a week, let's do a bar chart. Let's do a column here, and we'll just go ahead and add a basic one here. I'm not going to do too much formatting. We'll save that for another video, but we will clear off the field buttons and kind of clean this up a little, remove some of the excess information you don't want. You can add some data labels, pretty much whatever kind of chart you want here, and then you can change the title here to arrests by day of week. So we have that. Let's go ahead and we can add another chart over here. A good thing to note is knowing your data, and not every pivot chart or pivot table rather looks good in a chart. It just going to depend on what your information is here. So I mean, we do something like a line chart. That's looking like it's got the columns flip-flop with the rows how I want, but just for example, let's just do a pie chart for this. And it's going to be a little convoluted with a lot of information, but just to show you an example here. So we'll put that up here. Let's move that down here a little. All right, so same kind of thing. We will remove the field buttons, and we'll just add some data labels. A little, like I said, a little convoluted because this pie chart's a little small. The larger you get it, it'll spread those out. But so we have these two charts we want, and if we don't want the pivot tables themselves to show on this, say we want to make a dashboard, what you could do is just select those two right there, and I like to Control X, so cut those, and then I've just pre-colored the background on this separate tab here to be a light gray. You could format it however you want. So we have these here. Now they're still connected to the other page. Now what we need to add is the slicers, just like we did before. It's going to connect into these pivot tables and charts all together. So just clicking on one of these, the same way we'll go to insert and go over to slicer. And then we'll just choose the slicer, the filters that we want on here. So they're all coming from this table. It has quite a few columns in it. So just because these columns aren't in the pivot table itself, doesn't mean that we can't use them. So year's a good one. Month, I know we already have day of week, but we can add that on here. We'll just go ahead and do those. So we have a few of these here. Not formatting them too well, but we'll just put a couple of these over here. Move the charts a little, and so it'll just be for a start here. So we have a couple things like this. Now you see if I start clicking on them, they're not both changing yet, kind of like we did before. We're gonna have to connect it to both of these. So when you click on that one that we had that connected to, you can go to the filter connection. You see those are already checked. This other one, however, we'll go up there and filter connections. You see it's not connected to any of those, so you can just check all three. So now both of these are connected to the same slicer buttons here. So if I just wanted to look at 2022, do that, and it'll update both 2021 days a week. This is where it gets kind of funny depending on what charts you choose together. Obviously Sunday is just going to have one column here, but it is a good way to represent different ways of looking at your data. It's not just a chart with column with a count. Like I say, with the things such as the NIBRS codes and stuff, might be a little difficult to get a good chart depending on how many items are in there, but it's also a little easier looking at something like this, maybe in a different format than just a large column of NIBR codes and then a count to go next to it. So you can mix and match these. You can put pivot tables as well on the same sheet here and have all three of those update from the same information. So in the end, it's really just what your aim is, who your end audience is, what you're trying to show. If it's a dashboard, something for you, something for somebody else, perhaps somebody asked for something very specific, you can do all that here. And like I say, a mix and match of these charts and the pivot tables themselves. If you found this tutorial helpful and would like to see more, click like and subscribe. Next video coming up will be over using tables versus pivot tables when dealing with slicers.